Yo, I am so excited to tell you that I am back on the road, baby, and I may be coming to a town near you. February 10th, I will be at the Belvedere Inn in Stamford, New York. February 23rd through the 24th, I will be at the Port Comedy Club in Baltimore, Maryland. March 14th through the 16th, I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio at a secret location. April 7th, I will be doing a one-nighter at Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia, PA. Then May 24th through the 26th, I will be at the Vail Comedy Festival in Vail, Colorado. Stay tuned for more dates, baby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode.
This is not special effects right here.
This is not special effects.
Not
This
CGI.
that shit, baby. No shout outs to what type of weed we smoking on, because I want to sponsor. So
Yeah,
I
it's not
wanna
unless they
just-
sponsor. You already know.
Yeah, but you see that. I should have just said it's an incense.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But the voice you hear and the face you see, people, this is Charles Mcbee, man. You're one of the first people I met when I moved to New York.
Oh, word?
Did you know that?
No, I never knew that.
Yeah. Also, I'll tell you first. Let me give you a good intro. Let me do that. He was the head writer on Hell of a Week with Charlemagne.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is you've been on Comedy Central. I remember seeing the set you did. What was that?
No, if it was on camera, I ain't never been on camera on Comedy
Get the
Central.
fuck out of here. Get
Nope.
out of here.
Nope.
That's a waste.
Nope. I
That's
ain't
a
never been
waste.
on camera on nothing.
You never did?
Like straight up. I've
Just
never
straight
been
up?
I've never been on camera on nothing. For real.
Well, this is the year to do that.
Yeah,
Or why
yeah.
don't you just put your own shit out?
That's what time I'm on right now.
Yeah, that's the time
what
you
I'm
on.
now.
But, man, this is Ohio's own, but still New York's own. Fucking Charles Mcbee. Yeah. So, you were one of the first people I met here at Comics Comedy Club.
Comics.
And I
R.I.P.
remember going to Comics and then being kind of like, I ain't never going to get in this place. And then seeing a black dude and then seeing you do stand up and go, all right, they like black people, like real black people. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Comics. Yeah.
Comics.
Yeah,
Remember
14th
Comics?
Street. Yeah, 14th Street. I remember when it came out, when they first came out, because they was doing a lot of things right in the sense of just like making it feel like comedy club could be like a classy place. You can like bring a girl and bring and upscale. But
That's
the
what the stand
overhead
is
had
now.
to be crazy though.
Yeah.
That's what the stand is now. Yeah.
Of course the overhead was crazy. Nigga, remember that liquidation
Yeah.
sale they were doing when they closed?
Yep.
They were giving away, so people who are listening and watching, this is inside baseball shit. Comics is a comedy club that was located on 14th Street, on the opposite side of where Gotham is, right?
No,
So it's on the lower numbers?
So Gotham was on 23rd and Chelsea. Comics was like in the meatpacking district over there.
But
on
on the
14th.
west side,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the east. I thought
No,
for
it was
some
on the
reason I
west
thought it was
side.
the east. Okay, so my bad. I didn't know the city that well at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
But all I knew is they did a lot of popular shows. Like Wendy Williams did a show.
Yep.
Like it was the club
It was
to
a poppin'
be
spot.
at. And dog, I don't know. I got in there, and by like the end of the year, they were selling TVs. They were selling deep fryers. They were selling everything
must
they
go.
could to make a dollar, to make some sort of money. I knew it was going under when they started doing karaoke. When they started rushing the comics. When they started rushing the comedians off stage
to do
karaoke. When they were like, hey, wrap that shit up.
Yeah.
We got to do karaoke. They were doing that to everybody. They were doing it to Amy Schumer, Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
Like anyone popping at that time, they didn't give a fuck. They was like, come on, beat it. Get out of here.
You know what's funny? That's kind of the tail sign of like a lot of clubs before they go under. You just start seeing all kind of shit pop off.
Fucking karaoke. Yeah.
When you see karaoke pop off, then you like, oh, the numbers ain't adding up.
Yeah, when they start hosting birthday parties, is fine. That's normal.
Yeah.
That's some normal shit. but it's karaoke
Mm-hmm.
and I think religious things. You know what I mean? Religious things that don't involve comedy. Where they're like, oh, we're just letting this church group meet here.
Right. They're gonna rent out the building for for a Tuesday. Yeah. AA meetings.
AA meetings and shit.
Yep.
But to go back to your original point is the classy comedy. Comics made comedy feel like a date again. It wasn't just some hole in the wall and all that shit. Yeah. And I'm saying that's what the Stand is now.
Yeah, every time I'm over there, I do feel like, oh, this is like a classy like spot. I think Stand is dope. I think Gotham is good with that. How they run things. Very like, everybody got on a blazer and like, you just feel like, okay.
But they got on a blazer too, because them motherfuckers are cops.
Yeah, exactly. They
don't fuck around.
That 45. Under
you can't tuck that
waist.
Shit with a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That shit, dude. So how long were you in New York before I met you? Because I moved here in 2010. When did you move here?
I came here in 07.
07.
So I wasn't
But you were in that
before.
club though. Because I remember you. Do you remember the interaction at all? Do you remember, like, I remember it was like MDC Diversity or some shit.
Stand Up for Diversity.
And it was me and somebody else, but I just remember you were already like in there or something. And then you were just like, y'all cool. Like you made sure the comics who were inside, like got inside. Yeah. And then we had to like wait in the lobby and shit. Yeah. But you weren't waiting. I don't remember you waiting in that line. Maybe you were there before me.
I
but
think
maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
I have a good, I've developed a good sense of being able to make things seem way better than what they are. Because I definitely wasn't like a favorite at that club. I was just getting in where I could fit in any like spot I could. So if I happened to make myself find myself on a show there, it was like either a guest spot or I knew somebody like hooked it up. But I definitely wasn't like a paid regular or anything like that. I was still trying to like just get in where I fit in. But I think
you made it look like you was in there.
I tried, but I've learned that that's an actual skill. Like over time, is making yourself appear like you in there, or like you like
you've been there the whole time.
You've been there the whole time, exactly.
So you know what that probably goes back to. Remember that saying? I don't know if you heard that when you were younger, but act like you belong there.
Yep.
And that's what that really means. That's the essence of that, probably. Is act like you belong here.
Act like you belong. Yep. Act like you've been there before.
Yep. But I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I just remember you being the one that was like, all right, y'all good. Like once people got in and we made sure we were situated in the room and stuff. But I didn't see you in the line. Maybe you had already did that shit.
With the diversity. Diversity. I remember I used to when I used to do those.
You stood in line? You did that shit?
No. I always got the yeah. I forgot that was a thing. Yeah, I never did stand in line.
Exactly. So that's
I
what
forgot
I'm saying.
that was even like a thing. Like there was people that stood in line for like days and shit.
Nigga. I was them people.
And
not days. Well,
okay,
now
yes.
Now
I know
get
what you
there
mean.
as early as possible, and I was standing in that goddamn line.
Yes. Now I remember.
Until 10 a.m.
I thought you meant for comics, like they regular shows. I didn't know you were talking about stand-up for diversity.
No. It was my bad. I'm terrible at setting up shit.
No.
Stand Up for Diversity showcase. You was in there.
Yeah.
And you would make sure that everybody was good. And then but I seen that after I was trying to get into comics. Yeah. So that's what made it in my head was like, oh, this nigga, he's like the person to talk to at the club. Or just the beacon.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, nah, I made that shit up.
But isn't it funny, though, that we always think whoever we perceive to be at a higher level or ahead or whatever, we think, oh, that's the dude.
Yeah.
But really, they might not be nothing, but they just a little, maybe.
You just got that glow.
Seemingly a little bit ahead of you. I say that because I remember the first time the first open mic I ever did was at Eastfield, the old Eastfield.
The old Eastfield.
Not
Which
the one
the
because Eastfield now is in Brooklyn.
Oh,
but where New York
used
to be on West 4th Street or East 4th Street. So I'm sitting outside the club for an open mic. I never knew I didn't even know what nothing was like an
Okay.
open mic, the concept of an open mic or anything. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting out there just like, okay. And I remember Jay Welch. I don't know if you knew Jay. You remember Jay?
I think yes, absolutely. I mean, the beard, heavy set lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
came around with a pad
Mm-hmm.
and a pen. It was just like, okay, everybody sign up for the open. It was like 4:00 in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah.
Sign up for the open mic. I was so naive and new to the game. I thought he was that dude. I'm thinking like, oh, this must. I need to impress him because this must be like he's the. I didn't know he was just running a open mic because I didn't know the concept of an open mic.
I get that.
What it was. So we always think that somebody, whoever's a step or seemingly a step ahead of us, we think, oh, that's if I could just get to where that person is. But then you get there and you realize, oh, this wasn't really.
Yeah.
This wasn't really shit. But
well, it takes a while for you to realize that it ain't shit.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely get that. I was like that at the Laugh House too. Did you ever come to Philly? Sorry, I just see it doing this thing. So as we're talking, I'm also trying to.
It's a one-man show.
Figure out
one-man band over here.
Yeah, because the good thing is 3 cameras. I can always cut.
But I never really played Philly that heavy. I did Helium once for. Remember when Fox had that show Laughs? I don't know if you ever, I don't know if you was in that.
I know
scene.
I didn't get the chance to do it.
I did that, and they did it at Helium, and it was a beautiful club. I like that club, but that was the only club I can recall doing, or the only time I really played Philly.
Helium is a good club. That's one of the clubs that I am doing April 7th, bitch. I don't know why I'm calling you a bitch if I'm trying to get you to come out. But listen, people, if you're listening to the podcast or watching the podcast, I am coming home for one night.
Do it.
I'm coming home, baby. One night at Helium, April 7th at 7 o'clock. It's also WrestleMania. So if you really love me,
oh wow,
you'll show up and you show out and make me feel like this is my personal WrestleMania.
Now you're a huge wrestling fan.
I'm a huge wrestling fan.
And you booked your show during WrestleMania?
I forgot, but I didn't even put the two together. But what I'm gonna try to do, what I'm gonna aim to do, is I am going to try to see WrestleMania starts early this year in Philly. I think they're starting at 5, and I want to go to the early show.
Yeah.
And then stay until at least like 6:30 and then head over to the club.
All right.
I want to do that. That's the goal. I want to go to WrestleMania too. It's the first time in Philly, and it's the first time I'm headlining Helium Comedy Club.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's a big moment. I'm going to try to make that shit happen.
That's dope.
Put some energy out there for me.
That's dope. Definitely. I'm sending that energy, man. Yeah,
but
man.
how'd you like performing in Philly?
I thought it was dope. I mean, the club was dope. I've never really. That's the other thing about me is like I've never really hit the road heavy, which I'm also starting to change now. But I've always like just kind of either I had a spot date somewhere or I just been in New York just making the rounds at the clubs.
Yeah.
But I've never really like got out there for real and like hit the road like that. But when I was there, it was dope. The show was fire.
Man, why didn't you do the road? You don't wanna?
It wasn't that I didn't wanna. It was like my whole thing has always been like pick a struggle, and so I've always like okay. My first struggle was get into the clubs here in New York or get into just build my weight up here in the city. And it was like okay, you get that hurdle, and then you like, all right, now it's either the road or something else. But then I started getting writing jobs and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, so I get the writing job and then I do shows in the city and you kind of become complacent or you just, that becomes like your thing. So you don't really either, because if you're working on a job, that's pretty much like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So you got to wait till you get time off. And then on the weekends, you just be like, oh, I'll just play, the clubs or the rooms here in the city.
Yeah.
So you don't even think about it to like hit the road unless you like open it for somebody or something like that. But
I mean, I think that's smart though.
Yeah, but I definitely like I'm now putting together that kind of that list and talking to people that have done tours and stuff like that and just putting that stuff together now.
Yeah, it was the first. Do you have anything set up?
I'm like literally talking to people like where looking at my analytics and just seeing where the people at and like getting.
You said analytics.
Yeah, you got to use words like that now, man.
This motherfucker. But if your first time and you're going out prepared, you may have a way better time than I did.
That's what me talking to people that's like done it a long time, because I'm literally like, I feel like I'm doing starting stand up all over again. I'm like, so how do you put the tour, like, do you go here and then go here? Do you reach out? How do you get people? Blah, blah, blah. Like all of that, I'm like a baby again. Yeah. So I'm just learning as I go now. So, but now that, things are starting to kind of pick up as far as like just numbers on social media, I'm like, well, and people are asking like, hey, when you gonna come here? When you gonna come here? It's just like, I should like actually start doing that.
Would you start with comedy clubs, or would you start with like rock venues? Like small,
definitely. Like I'm thinking like little small rooms, like just yeah.
Why that?
From what I've been, well, depending on the club, you really like with the clubs. It's just like depending on the club, you at they beck and call as far as like the split. Yeah. As far as just like how they set things up, a lot of times they very set in their ways on how they go about stuff. So there's no room to negotiate certain things. Yeah. And so it's just like if I just get a small venue and just like a venue that people are used to like, coming out to and having a good time, it's just like I could kind of like just do my own thing a little bit.
That makes sense.
But I mean, it just depends. You know what I'm saying? It depends.
What city do you want to perform in?
I definitely want to go to. I'm definitely hitting up Chicago, and I played Chicago a few times, and it's always a fun time.
Yeah, who'd you go out there with?
I was out there. I was at the Laugh Factory. I forget who was on the show with me, but it was a good show. I had a good time. I think that might have been with Laughs too, as a matter of fact.
That's dope. Oh, so you did Laughs a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
But yeah, it's once I hit the road and really figure it out, it's just gonna be a good time. I ain't looking to do nothing else but be able to build my act. Like I have an act, but it's just to be able to just do hours nonstop is just something that I'm at a point where I just need to do. I need to get that out.
Wait, so that's dope. You want to start putting out your own hours and shit?
Yeah.
Or selling them?
Or selling, like putting out my own hours, or just at least touring with my own hours. Because it's like doing these 12-minute, 15 minutes all the time. It's like, yeah, I know I got the time, but whenever I just get to like just sit on stage and stand on stage and like do an hour, it's just a different feeling. It's just different muscles, a different
feeling.
It's fun, though. It's fun. Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah. But guess what? Sometimes you got to do that shit no matter who's there.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, oh shit, because sometimes everyone there, sometimes no one there.
Yeah.
You gotta make it even more special when no one's there.
That's the part.
When no one's there, the people who do come need to feel like they're still like, well, they missed out. Yeah. The people missed out. You never, like, I see people do that, right?
Yeah, they trek out but it's their own ego and
yes, absolutely. Where it's just like, nah, man, you need to send these motherfuckers home running, going, yo, you missed it. You should have came.
Yep.
It was funny. He was this. He said that. And that gets people riled up. So I go extra hard when there's no one there. Yeah. And then when there's people there, you got to show off. Because I told y'all.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when there's people there, they may not be there for you. They may just be there to be like, oh, let's see what's going on at this place tonight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you need to be the same way. It needs to be the same way when no one's there, because they're still new people that's like, yo, holy shit, I'm glad I came on this night. Like, you ever do anything like that where you just go, oh, let me pop in a place and then it's like amazing on that night?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You pop in, it's like, oh, this was amazing. Or you go to something, you get invited to something or something, you just like, all right, I'm going to pull up. And then you show up and you're like, yo, this is dope. Like,
I always want people to feel that way.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I don't do, when I do, so when people are like, oh, I do comedy for XYZ. I
Yeah.
do comedy for people. I do comedy selfishly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Where I'm like, yo, it's all for me. But I love watching people react off of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But so when that comes into play with the other shit,
Yeah.
with the like, oh, all right, it's time to show off. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's like walking on air, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. What got you into comedy? Like when you
I was
first
about to ask you that. You got to answer that question first. So did you start in Ohio or you started in New York?
I started in New York.
So what brought you to New York before? What brought you to New York?
New York. What brought me to New York was one, getting out of Ohio, but also like I was going to be an actor. I was like.
So you were already wanting to be in the entertainment.
I was like, I want to be a trained actor. Oh, I want to be an actor. So I really want to be in L.A.
Okay.
But I was like, do I move to L.A.? Do I move to New York? I didn't really have any contacts in either, but New York is a little closer. And I was just like, I could go to New York and maybe train. You know, what I heard was if you train in New York, you're more respected in L.A. as an actor. That's what I heard. So I was just like, okay, I'll go to New York and get some type of formal training and then eventually move out to L.A. or whatever. That was a plan. I really didn't have no plan, but that was like whatever plan I could like put together. And then I came out here and I was taking classes and I was doing like acting conservatories and all this kind of stuff. But I really wanted to do like stand-up was like a fantasy. Acting was like something more tangible that I felt like I could at least do or figure out a path to do. Stand-up was like this whole magical world that I didn't know shit about. I didn't know how to get into it. Like I just told you, I thought an open mic was like a showcase. Like I didn't know. So I was just here just like, man, I would love to go. And I was going to like comedy clubs just as an audience member. You know, I was going to street team. I was seeing street teams and getting suckered in. Oh, Chappelle's going to be there? It was like, if people don't know.
But at that time, I would have believed Chappelle was going to be there.
I did believe Chappelle was going to be there.
I would have fell for it too. Yeah, absolutely.
And you in Times Square, it's like, hey, come to blah. I was like, all right. But I do remember seeing Ali Wong at like, you know, like, I think it might have been like High back in the day or something like that. And but yeah, but I mean,
was it the same feeling too?
What you
where
mean?
You're just like, yo, she's this motherfucker.
No, because she wasn't Ali Wong yet. She was. Oh, you mean because she was on stage?
Yeah.
Yes. I was like seeing her on stage, even though I didn't know she wasn't famous, but she was just a person on stage. Yeah. And I remember thinking, even though she wasn't famous, she has such a distinct look. Yeah. The glasses, she has a very distinct look. I remember thinking, like, I think she's famous, even though she wasn't yet. Yeah. But because she was on stage, and I felt like maybe she had done one or two things, maybe like on some Weekend Update, not Weekend Update, but like Best Week Ever or something, maybe something back then. But yeah, I definitely remember seeing people on stage and being like, yo, like they on stage doing that's crazy. And then, and what I would do is I would go back to my conservatory, my acting school, and I would tell everybody that I was doing stand-up the night before, and I was lying my ass off. That's what I would do every day.
What made you lie, though?
Just to
feel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt good. One, because I was too afraid to actually do it.
Okay.
But it felt good that people thought I was doing it. And I felt like maybe if I keep saying it or keep acting like it, I'll eventually just do it.
Yeah.
Like I'll eventually just be on stage and do it. But it never happened until one of my friends, she was managing this restaurant, and she went to the school, and she came and asked me, because she was throwing a big Christmas holiday party, and asked me if I would do stand-up at the holiday party. And I was just like, nah. I told her, I was like, yo, I've been lying this whole time.
Oh, you didn't even try?
No, I was
like... So be like, yo, I'm booked that night.
No, I didn't even notice. I didn't even know to say no shit like that. Yo, I'm out of town. I'm booked. I just... She was like, please do it. And she held me to it. She was like, I think you're hilarious, though. Yeah. And I was like, how you... I was like, I ain't never even been on stage. She was like, I don't care. I think you're hilarious. Please do this for me. And I was like, fuck. And she invited everybody, the whole school, the faculty, everybody. And everybody heard that I was going to be doing it. So they all pulled up. like 100 something faculty and kids pulled
Yeah.
up, and I showed up and I was nervous as shit.
Okay.
And she was like, "Well, when you want to go up?" I was like, "Motherfucker, I want to go up late. Like
Okay.
I'm having a couple drinks." And then eventually it was just later and later, and one of the teachers was like, "Yo, when the fuck is you going on stage? Because I ain't about to be out here all night."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn." And so I was like, "All right, put me on." And I had a little piece of paper, a little stuff that I had jotted down. But what happened was, because she had a bunch of she had like a band.
Wait, you bombed?
No.
Oh, because you said what had happened. You stopped the story to say what had happened was.
I wanted to describe the show.
Okay.
She had a band on. She had she had a bunch of different like acts or people on.
Oh, it's like I get it. It's a variety show.
It wasn't just like everybody stopped just for me. It was like a variety show. Yeah. Okay. So I go on there, had a big old stage.
And you were the only stand-up?
No, there was another stand-up, and I won't tell you who it is.
Why not? Tell me afterward. After the podcast or after the story?
If I tell you, when I tell you won't care.
Okay.
But it was supposed to be a professional stand-up.
Okay.
She was like, he's a professional. He'll go on. You see how it's done, and then you go on after him.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right. So I'm backstage. It's like a proper stage with like a curtain backstage and all that. So I'm backstage watching. He go on and he bombs, yo. Like he eats a dick. And it's one of them bombs, them bombs where the audience, like, it's not that they not laughing. They have a visceral hate towards you because of the shit that you saying. And so it was like one of them.
Okay.
And so when he came off, it was a white dude too. I don't know how much of a difference it make, but he came off and I was just like, damn, yo. Like, I'm thinking he was just going to be hurt. He came off. He was like, that was fun. And then he just walked off. And I was like, damn, he just ate a dick on stage, and then he just walked off. Like,
yo, okay.
I'm like, okay, it must not be that bad. Like, if I bomb, I must not be that bad. So
how'd the audience react to that?
To him?
Yeah,
they hated him.
Okay,
they hated him. Right. He was just saying it. One, objectively, it wasn't funny. Like objectively, like just as a comic, it wasn't funny. So there's that level of bomb. But then on top of that, the type of stuff he was saying was like disgusting and just like. It wasn't funny and disgusting at the same time and weird. It was just like one of them.
Okay.
So they was just like, I don't like this dude and I want him to go away. So I figured all I got to do is not do that. And they'll at least be relieved that I'm not what they just saw. So I went on, and mind you, it wasn't just like my classmates and faculty. It was a bunch of people like from wherever. So I went out and I just did my first little joke and I was like, I don't know if it was because it was funny or because they was just like, oh, that's refreshing, a palate cleanser to what I just saw. But I did the first joke and got a laugh. And once I got that first laugh, I was like, oh, okay, boom. And then after that, it was just like, it was on the pop. And I looked over, my classmates was laughing. The staff, the waitresses was laughing. I was like, oh, shit. Like, I went home and I was like on cloud 9 after that. But I still didn't have the courage to get back on stage for like a couple months after that, because I didn't want the
because you kind of got the cheat code.
You
were bowling with the bumpers on.
Yeah. So it took me. I think I took a bunch of classes back in the day too.
Yeah, what class?
I took damn near all of them. I took one at Gotham. I took one at not Stand Up New York, but comic strip. With DF, I took one at the Cellar, not at the Cellar. No, but he teaches at the Cellar now. But Rick Chrome, but he was a teacher at that comedy school. That's how we met. I mean, at the acting school. That's how we met. And my strategy, I had a strategy with that too, which is not a good strategy, but I just thought it was at the time because I was inexperienced. I was again same thing with Jay in the damn open mic. I'm thinking if I go and take this class that's connected with the club,
I can get into the club.
I get in the club because the teacher must be like
So now that you've done all of that and you've taken those classes, what do you think on that approach? Like, what's your
if that's your end goal? That's a terrible approach.
Why?
It just doesn't work that way.
Oh,
like you're not going to take a class and get discovered at the class. You'll make, depending on who the teacher is or whatever, if they're a good comic or something, you'll make maybe a friend, or maybe or you'll make other friends that maybe y'all going or whatever. But thinking that like, I'm gonna take this class and then that's gonna get me into the club, like, no, it won't. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
But that was my that was my little. But at the time, that was the first time when I started doing that. Classes started offering this thing. Now it's normal now. Anybody can just walk into a comedy club and say they're a comic.
Yeah.
But at the time, comedians weren't just allowed to just waltz into a club that they didn't work and watch the show or hang out. So what the classes used to offer was you take the classes however many weeks, 6 weeks or whatever, for like $400 or something like that.
Yeah.
But as an incentive, you could show up to a show and watch the show for free as a part of the class, as long as it wasn't sold out. And usually it'd be like Monday through Thursday you could do it. They wouldn't allow it for like a weekend show. Yeah. But that was a big deal to me because I took the class at Comic Strip, which was popping. I mean, it's still there, but it was like it was still popping back then. And I would go to every show every single night, just post up. So I'm getting to see beasts come through, like professionals come, like Anthony Jeselnik back then, like all these cats were just regulars at the club back then, and I'm getting to watch them every night to the point where I could do their act because I was seeing them so much. So that was like a big deal back then, and Gotham then started doing that. That's why I took their class. So I was going to all these shows. So that was a big deal back then. Now you can just pull up and be like, yo, I'm a comic and I watch the show. And
not really now, because now they need to see your face. They need to know who you are a little bit more.
Oh, yeah?
Because I think there were people doing that. I know that happened a couple times at the stand where we would just be in the green room with a random motherfucker. And then one of the managers would come in like, Who is this? And we were like, I don't know. And they'd be like, oh, I just thought I could sit right here. So I think people started cracking down a little bit more.
I do notice that the stand does that. Yeah. More so, yeah. It's almost like you got to be either you in or you not in.
Yeah. I feel like that's how it has to be now because the word comic is thrown around so loosely.
Yeah.
Because, anybody can just be like, I'm a comedian. Because they did something online or they you know what I mean,
or they open mic or whatever. It's just like, nah, it's got to be level, it's got to be some type of something.
So now to answer your question, motherfucker. The thing that made me move to New York was comedy. I was doing it in Philly for about 2-3 years. Let me see, I started doing comedy like 2007. The end of 2006, 2000. So 2007. Yeah, okay. So I just remembered I wasn't even like, I was doing all I could, but I didn't even reach the ceiling in Philly comedy when I decided to leave. It's just, it's going to sound weird, but I feel like I'm not religious or anything like that, but I feel like there are signs when you keep hearing the same thing.
Yeah, totally.
From people, from like characters in your life who aren't main characters. I'm going to say that. Yeah. But people who are just there in passing. And when they say shit, and you know what I mean? And when it happens frequently. So I remember just being in Philly and then just doing my version of comedy and just being like, okay, I can make this a living. I can't make a living off of this, but I can at least do this after work. Like I didn't really think about it as a long-term thing. I was just like, yo, like this is just something that is cool. It makes me feel like it's a part of something, right? Because I feel like as you get older, like everybody just they do an activity, and when they do that activity, end up meeting other people. Like if you play basketball, you go to the court and you shoot around by yourself, and then other people would join or you ask to join and shit like that. And before comedy, I hung around the arts because of foster care. Like foster care has a lot of talented motherfuckers. There's always a singer.
Yeah.
There's always
Yeah.
a rapper, a poet, a painter. Or there's a lot of talented people in foster care. So I hung around a lot of artsy people. A lot of there were a lot of talent shows. There were a lot of just people performing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I got comfortable with that. I got comfortable being in that situation. So then when I was like, oh, I can just do this comedy thing and I can be a part of these groups and this group and yada, yada, yada. Like I can just, now that I have something to offer, because I wasn't doing stand-up.
Yeah.
When I was hanging out with the artists and all the stuff. I was being a funny dude, like a funny character, but I wasn't getting on stage and being like, ba-doom, psh,
Right.
and doing jokes and shit like that.
Yeah.
I may host a show. I think I did one sketch and I hosted one show before I ever did stand-up. But when I started doing stand-up and when I was in it, it was so many strangers I'll have you don't do this full time? This is how you make a living? And I'm like, nah, I don't do that.
yeah.
You can't do that. And just, there was one teacher who I worked with. She said some shit when I finally was like, oh, yeah, I'm a stand-up comic. She was like, really? Because if you were, you would go where they are. She said it in like that way.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what you mean? What are you talking about? Like always, when I tell the story, I tell it with like some shine on it and shit. But she said it like fucking it pierced.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
I think it was a mixture of things. I think she can tell that my heart wasn't in whatever I was doing in the class. Like I was doing it for money. But every chance I got, I'll be sitting there listening to my set, right? I had a little recorder. I'll be listening to my set. Or I'll be like having conversations with different staff and they'd be like, oh, Monroe's so funny and shit like that. So I remember she would just be like, oh, I heard you were funny or whatever. But she would never really like give me that pat on the back.
Yeah.
And then she finally said it. It was like, if you were, you would go where like, she didn't curse.
Yeah.
But you would go where they were. Like, she was like, my husband is a jazz musician and he doesn't do this on the side. He's a jazz musician. He travels. He lives his life as in that. And she was like, at the time I was like 26. She was like, you're young enough to fail. Like, what's 5 years? If you do this shit 5 years and nothing happens, you can always do this shit.
Yeah,
you can always come back and get this type of job. And it wasn't even like a job you need a certificate or anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I was like, all right, well, that kind of makes sense. And then I fucking just left. And there's other comics like Naeem Lynn was like, hey, man, you should just go to New York. Like, it was like, because I was fun. Like, I knew how to write a joke and all of that stuff. So just random people just kept telling me to come to New York. And I'm glad that I kept coming because the first impression in New York was fucking trash. I was like, this can't be it. I went to New York Comedy Club before Emilio and all of them had it. Back when it was just the Broadway people.
Yeah.
And they didn't really give a fuck.
That's the opposite of comics.
Yeah.
That was like the polar. It's like if it was comics, the polar opposite of that would have been the old New York Comedy Club.
Yo, so fucking. So you remember?
Oh yeah,
terrible. I remember taking the Greyhound up, and you know how the Greyhound is. The Greyhound is like, it's the fucking hell on wheels, yo. Greyhound is terrible.
Yep.
I took Greyhound up. I had to get off in that Greyhound station. It was just a bunch of characters. So I had the shittiest experience all the way up to New York.
Yeah.
Then I get to New York. The show gets canceled.
Oh,
it's a midnight show. I got to New York early. I went to the club, checked in, was like, yo, I'm here. Just wanted to let y'all know I'm going to just walk around and do my own little thing. And then came back at the time that I was supposed to be there. And it was like, yeah, show canceled. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And I didn't know anybody.
Damn.
So then I just went back to New York. I had to go back to that fucking Port Authority.
Yeah. Oh,
get
gross.
back on the same Greyhound.
Man.
And then head back to New York. And I was about to be done with it. I was about to be like, It wasn't all what it's cracked up to be. And then Derek Gaines moved up. He moved up.
That was my next question.
Yeah. And then he was like, yo, this shit is the land of milk and honey. And I was like, you sure?
That sounded like him too.
Yeah, he's like, yo, it's where it's at. Nigga.
This shit is the land of milk and honey.
This shit is great. Yeah, he was right though. I love the city, man. I went to a lot of great. I had a lot of great experiences here. And I don't know. I feel like I'm both a Philadelphian and a New Yorker now.
Yeah, I can see that. I can feel that.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, and people feel like they be like, "Oh yeah, you ain't never leaving New York." I'm like, whoa. I ain't saying all that. Like, cause I don't have roots here, so I can be here. But if an opportunity made sense that led me somewhere else, then I wouldn't feel, bad or feel like I couldn't leave if that opportunity showed up. Yeah. Like, I could definitely live somewhere else, but I do still really love living here also. It's both.
Yeah, let me know if you feel the same or if this even makes sense. New York gives me I feel like I'm a wanderer, right? I've wandered how can I say this? Willingly and unwillingly, I've wandered in life and just meandered and ended up in great situations and shitty situations and shit like that. And I feel like this city allows me to do that, but comedy allows me to do that too, where you can just be like, and you can walk into some great shit. And this city allows me to feel like a nomad.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Where I'm like, yo, you can go, I've been here since 2010. And I'm still discovering new parts of New York City.
Yeah.
Not New York, but the city.
I think it could go both ways. It could be a real positive thing or it could be a real negative thing. Because on the positive, size-wise, it's not that big. If you were talking about Manhattan, if you add
No, I'm not talking about Manhattan. I'm talking about the other boroughs. I consider the other boroughs New York City.
So then,
New York City.
Yeah, in that case, then it's so big though.
Yeah,
that you're constantly discovering new things. But also, if you're going through a downside or if you feel lonely, you can feel that much more lonelier because you're in a city of 6 million people. If that makes sense. Like you can either embrace it and be like, "Yo, it's 6 million people here. This is amazing," or you could be like, "Damn, it's 6 million people and I still feel not connected, or I still feel." So it goes either way. You just gotta make sure that your own personal, mental, and emotional health, is in a good space. Because I felt that too, where you're wandering. Like it would be some days where if I'm feeling good, I could be wandering around the city and being like, and taking it in, being like, man, this is so dope, taking in the city. But if I'm having a bad day or if I'm going through some, just a downtime, I could be wandering through the city and just feel like, damn, I'm in this huge city, but I feel alone or I feel not connected or, you know what I'm saying? Or you see people. You might see a couple over here hand in hand, or you might see a family over here. You might see friends over here, and it just, I don't know, do something to your psyche. So you just got to make sure that you always taking care of your own, like, emotional, mental well-being too.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, they say, people say that it's just like you can be amongst. There's no lonelier feeling than being amongst so many people and still feeling that sense of loneliness. It's just it hit different.
No, absolutely. I felt that, but I didn't think it was because of New York. I just think it's like sometimes you just have shit in your brain.
Yeah.
But no, that makes sense. I never thought of it that way. Is that what prompted you to get in shape?
That was that whole 2020 lockdown thing. So like I said, I was like on some mental, I was just like, yo, I want to come whatever this, because remember we didn't know what it was going, we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I was just like, whatever happens, if this thing does kind of go back to normal or some or whatever the case, the world starts spinning again, I want to be a better version of myself before this thing stopped. Because the thing is, when you constantly going, you don't really take the time to like stop and prioritize things or nothing like that, because we constantly chasing that whatever that next thing is that we think, oh, I got to get in at this club, I got to get this TV spot, I got to get this, and we constantly comparing ourselves to our peers or other people that we see or where we think we should be and all this kind of stuff. And when everything stopped, even though it was a bad time for a lot of people, in certain ways it was also a good time in the sense that I could just like take off all that pressure and just be like, what do I want to do, or who do I want to be, and how can I be at the best version of myself and not feel just like a slave to like all this other expectations and all this other shit. And then I went through like a breakup during that time. So it was like a pandemic breakup, which was extra bad because back to our point about feeling that sense of isolation and alone, I couldn't even go out and be like, all right, this relationship is over with, but I'm going to go out and do comedy, or I'm going to go out and meet some chicks, or I'm going to go out and kick it. I'm going to be a hoe. I'm going to be... Nah, I was at the crib, locked in, bouncing my head against the wall. So it was just like all this other shit was going on.
Yo, I felt bad for anybody who didn't have stable coochie in their life.
Man,
during the pandemic.
It was bad,
because it was a long one. And for the people who didn't, y'all had to rely on like day naps and shit, right?
Yeah.
And the day naps are just based off of your pen game. Yeah, it's off of your texting game and your look game.
Yep.
Damn. So, whew.
Yeah.
That does sound like a tough time.
It was bad. So that's why I went home. That's why after that I just went home. I was like, bunk this. I'm going home. Fuck it.
Back to Ohio.
Yeah, I went back to Ohio for the rest of the pandemic or whatever, or the rest of that lockdown period.
To your parents or to your own? Yeah?
Yeah.
Your parents got a nice size home?
Yeah, I do a joke sometimes where I say I used to watch MTV Cribs and I used to fantasize about living in a house as big as the one I would see on MTV Cribs. Yeah. And now I watch MTV Cribs and I fantasize about one day living in a house as big as the one I grew up in watching MTV Cribs. It's like now that I have perspective, when I was growing up, I was like, oh, just a regular house. Now I'm like, oh yeah, it was a proper like, decent size.
So you had a home. Like, you didn't grow up in apartments.
No.
House.
Yeah. Cul-de-sac. Okay, like Derek said, cul-de-sac Negro.
Cul-de-sac black.
Cul-de-sac black.
Cul-de-sac black. Oh, shit.
Yep.
Hey, y'all, just wanted to take a quick break to tell y'all to go ahead and grab some of that public property merch. It'll really help the podcast grow. You not big on social media, but how do you feel about social media? Have you fallen into the trap too? Are you doing this shit?
I 100 have because you come to a point where you realize like either you're gonna be involved, either you're gonna change with the times, and either you're gonna get on board or shut the fuck up. But don't not be fully involved, but talk shit about the people that succeeding and getting the results. And like, I didn't want to be a dinosaur that refused to just, get on board with social media. Cause I felt like, no, cause when I first got in, it was about, nah, bro. So it was either get down or lay down. So I really tried to make a decision to like, you know what, let me try and get my numbers up and let me actually not scoff at it and actually really take it serious. The same way, and as a craft, as silly as it might seem, the same way I take stand-up serious. Yeah. And when you do that, and you do it consistently, you do see, like, I feel like I see the results in that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it too.
Yeah, I feel like it's just another color to paint with. Like, like there had to be a time where a new color was introduced to the market, or an artist discovered a new color and was like, I want to try this thing. I want to do this. And then everyone else started trying to do it, but then realized, oh, I can create something from this color. That's how I look at it.
It's everything.
I'm like, yo, they gave me purple, but from purple, I'm going to make fucking... I don't know what colors you can make.
I don't know. I was rocking with you on the color example, but I
was trying to go deep with this analogy that my brain just locked up.
My brain
was like, nigga, what color do you make with purple? Go ahead, blue, right? Isn't it purple and yellow make blue?
Man, don't ask me.
Hey, Google, what color makes purple?
On the website blog.prepscholar.com, they say Blue and red are essential to creating purple.
There you go.
Blue and red.
Blue and red.
What did I say? I said purple
You
and
said
blue.
purple and yellow.
Purple and yellow. I said purple and yellow make it purple.
Bruh. I was like, I'm going to rock with you. I'm not going to leave you out here. I'm going to rock with you. But I don't know where this analogy is going.
That's dizzies. Yo, but I'm looking at it the same way you are, but I'm also like, what can I do in this space? What, like, you know what I mean? Like, how versatile can I become?
Yeah.
Is there another part? Because you want that funny to transfer, but it's also like, well, is there another way I can be funny?
Well, I found that you have to do something that you actually genuinely enjoy doing and do something that you naturally don't. It doesn't feel like work or doesn't feel like stress, because as soon as because it's going to take a minute to pop. Mm-hmm. And so in that time frame, you have to be willing to do it consistently, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's frustrating. Yeah. And in order to do that, it has to be something that you genuinely enjoy doing. Yeah. Otherwise, it's
but you don't think that's just weird, because this is made up. So when we both decided to do stand up, podcasts weren't a thing. Yeah. And you went from acting to doing stand up. Yeah. You didn't dream about being a radio host. Right. No. So now every comic but in a sense is a radio host.
Oh, they're a radio host. They're a marketing person. They're a tech guru. Mm-hmm. They're a camera person. They're an editor. Like it's the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah. It's the whole thing now. But that's the game now.
Dude. So are you on Twitter or X, that's called?
I'm on there, but I don't really be on there like that. It's weird now.
It is. What makes it weird for you?
For everything that Elon said he was going to do as far as like, oh, it's going to be free speech. It's like, okay, cool. But why do I got like 10 beheading videos as soon as I log on? Like, it's weird. I'm like, I didn't request this. I don't look for this. I don't search for this. But it's just nothing but violence. I feel like
all people want to see.
I'm like, what that got to do with me, though? Like, why am I being subjected to this? It's crazy. It's just like mafia assassination in Peru. It's like, I don't want to see this shit.
No, I'm getting a mixture. I'm getting I got a dude getting eaten by tigers. I didn't even know it was so grainy. By the time I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Holy shit. I got the tiger shit. I got what else? I get people falling from buildings. Falling, not even funny. Like, I used to get people falling from on Instagram. I get people falling from buildings, but they land on like a patch of grass. Right. Or it ends up being a parkour video on X. People just die. People just fall from buildings. And then there's no like cops being called. No. It's just a person go, oh my God, I can't believe what I just saw. It's like, but you're still recording.
You're dead now. I don't know how many times I'll get a tsunami video.
You get tsunamis?
I get tsunamis. And not just tsunami, not like this is a tsunami like National Geographic. Mm-hmm. I mean like footage of like entire towns being wiped away. Like you can see people running for their lives and then just being engulfed by the ocean.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
No, but I always dig people's conspiracies.
I feel like we're being desensitized to something.
That's not a conspiracy.
But we're being, something's about to happen, and they need us to be desensitized. They need us to be so comfortable with death and all of this shit, because something about to come, and we need to just treat it like everyday news. And it's not gonna happen tomorrow. It's gonna happen like in a couple years.
Yeah, it's over time.
Yeah, it's slowly over slow
time.
Thing.
I can dig that. I definitely dig that.
Yo,
because we always being distracted and desensitized to something,
dude. But
that's crazy. Yeah,
I can't find these Taylor Swift videos. I seen not videos, but
the AI.
The AI. Did you see them?
No.
You seen one?
And I know people think I'm lying right now when I say that. But
why?
I really have
why they think you lying?
Because they were like, no, I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't searching for it. But no, I really haven't seen them. But I saw all the hoopla.
I seen one of them.
I saw something where she was spitting or something like that. It was one where she was like spitting in somebody's mouth, I think.
I don't know.
I saw that in like an article. It was like the post or something.
Yo, she's so big. She got him scrubbed. Like, you can't really search for him on X.
And X would be the one place they would definitely be.
She's that big. Now, when people go, who's bigger, Beyonce or Taylor Swift? It's Taylor Swift. Beyonce still got pictures of her superimposed on doing doggy style and doing things that Jay-Z could never do.
I ain't even know that.
Absolutely. But all these women.
I remember, this is how I'm dating myself. But now it's like AI. But I remember when you would like look up, like if you would look up porn images or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Our version of AI back then was just somebody photoshopping like somebody's head on somebody on a naked, like it would Photoshop like whatever model on like a naked body, and you'd be like, that don't look right. That look.
Yeah,
so
no,
like they just clip art somebody's head on there.
That was back then. Now this shit is so good.
The
crazy. News is like, yo,
it's crazy.
Oh, that's not real. But
sometimes I have like 6 toes though, or something like that, and you'd be like, oh, okay,
you can catch it now. No, it's real now. But my thing is, I'm still trying to go back to Taylor being that big.
Oh,
where it's
you still trying to get killed? Oh, okay, I thought you was.
I'm not trying to get. What do you mean get killed? What do you mean?
The Beehive is gonna come after you.
No, but Beyonce. I love Beyonce.
Yeah, you got to start there.
No, well,
start with that.
Because I went to see Renaissance with Onika and Amina. I said Onika. It was Amina. It was Amina's birthday party or just some sort of party.
Yeah.
And she invited everybody, and it was mainly girls, and it was like me, Derek, Dave, like, you know, the blacks.
Yeah.
And we went, and it was an amazing movie because I thought it was just going to be singing. It was like a story about her life, or just a story about a little bits and pieces about her life, and then a thing. And I was like, oh, shit, this is really dope. But there's still AI fucking Photoshop superimpose things of her getting made every day. Let's see if I'm right. Fucking Tay, Taylor Swift, leak, right? Let's see if they still show.
Nope.
Look at that. They're like, nope. Oh, no, that was a trick.
You got to go to...
Oh, no, look. It's scrubbed. Dude, now Beyonce. Can I smell Beyonce right? I just put leaked.
Hilarious.
Because that's how you find the real shit. Oh, I forgot to do that for Taylor Swift. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Beyonce don't play that either.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce.
Oh, what is that? That ain't Beyonce.
No, that's not Beyonce.
All right, hold on. Let's see.
What the hell?
I think this Monique.
No,
that ain't Monique. My bad.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfucking need Jesus. That's how I read it,
baby. See, that's disrespectful. That one right. I ain't gonna tell you to.
So I was wrong.
Yeah, see, Beyonce still got that juice.
Beyonce still got that juice. I'm sorry, Beehive, but I felt something in my heart.
Yeah.
Yo, Drake fucking showed his PP.
It's a lot of PP leaks.
Yeah, I think that's when you, like, if you believe in Illuminati, you gotta believe there's a certain level of fame you get where you just wag your wee wee, where you just expose yourself to the public, because you gotta know that when you send that to anyone you're dating, when you're that famous, that that's going to go to the world.
You can't be that dumb. You can't. Be,
Yeah, so I
don't
think
believe
it's just a way for him to like promote an album.
It's
or some
also
shit.
like where I sadly I think is, and I'm glad I'm washed up and old, so I don't have to like. But that's where we're going.
What
now.
do you mean? Well, look, Morgan
No, I'm
Freeman,
happily washed.
We don't know. We're going into a point of acting where we have never seen before. There's new instruments. There's new rules. There's new things. Like Morgan Freeman still got time to show his wee wee. That's all I'm saying. Morgan Freeman's still alive.
Oh my God! Can you? Whoa.
Yo,
This got fucking them dark freckles on it and shit. he bald now.
Yo,
but his pubes is still gray and white. Start narrating his own shit.
So it ain't too. Oh, that's funny. Oh, he's shaving. Oh, as we take the balls and we move them to the side.
Andy Dufresne's gonna love this.
So we got time. I think I will bet everything I have, well, not everything I have, is Tuesday, February 6th. I would say at least 3 years from now, we're going to get some leaks of old people. And I'm telling you, that's just going to be the new thing.
Damn.
I think it's a thing. I think that it's just a part of the legacy.
This is
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a terrible road we going down.
Dude, man.
But that's just going to be, but in like 10 years, 5-10 years, that will be, I think it'll no longer be taboo. I think it's starting to not even be taboo now. To like, remember when somebody's news leaked? That was like,
news.
The world shut down. Like your life was over. And
yeah.
I think we getting into a place where it's just like, yeah, everybody.
We see asshole every day, every second.
Every day. It's gonna be a time where the president is gonna have is gonna have news out. And it's just like, yeah, that's what it is. Like I showed my pussy on my dick to an ex 3 years ago, and now it's just out there.
Oh yeah. Because we had Anthony Weiner.
Right?
Yeah, so eventually he's going to run for a bigger position.
No, I think he's done.
Nah, you don't. Oh, he's done for good?
And I liked Anthony Weiner. Yeah, because he got canceled for some shit that's more than just showing your dick or something. It was like a minor was involved. And
my bad. So I didn't know that.
So it's a rap.
I didn't know.
Him. But I liked him as a politician.
Oh,
he fucked up.
Yeah. But I think you're right. We're gonna have a president with OnlyFans.
Yeah,
because OnlyFans is going after everybody now. OnlyFans went after Snoop. Mm-hmm. All right, Cardi B had an OnlyFans, so they're very much like, yo, we just gonna keep collecting. You'll probably be able to get like they'll probably have like OnlyFans packages, like see the cast of Fast and the Furious OnlyFans, right?
Yep, premium.
It's gonna be that. It's gonna get to that point.
Yep.
Yo, Charles, man, look, people who are watching this is like the 15th, 13th time there's been a technical difficulty, and I'm letting you in on this. I'm letting you know everything. I'm trying to be transparent. But Charles, thank you for hanging out and being so damn patient.
It's been a great hang.
I want y'all to hear this. When this podcast blows up and it becomes all shiny and glamorous, feel free to be like, yo, I'm coming on.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yo, you just can't be crazy. That's the only thing. Y'all gotta just make sure he's not a crazy person.
All right,
but just he can come on when this shit gets shiny. But tell these people where they can find you, man.
Everything at Charles Mcbee, Instagram, TikTok, at Charles Mcbee, MCBEE.
Dope. All right, y'all. Y'all know what to do. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, make some comments. Talk to me, baby. I'm going on the road, so I'm going on the road, and I would like to see you there. All right? I got some dates coming up. I will post them on my social medias.